Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, Socially Bearded. In the last episode of the Beginner's Guide to Wet or Traditional Shaving, we went over shave brush care. So in this episode, what we're going to do is we're actually going to get a razor out, and we're going to try a couple of different styles. Maybe, maybe the beginner watching will see something. Maybe it'll kind of stick with him. Maybe something will jump out at him as the style of razor that he might want. And so on and so forth. So stay tuned through the intro, and I'll get right back with you. Alright guys, as I mentioned before, today we're going to kind of showcase a couple of razors. We're going to use them. The first three videos were kind of showcasing a little bit of gear, kind of how to build a lather, how to care for your shaving brush. You take care of your equipment and it'll take care of you back. So we're not going to procrastinate no more. We're going to do a shave. Okay, so in the interest of saving time, I've already got a lather built. I've got some water pulled up. And we will jump right into it, guys. I've got 2 days worth of growth on my head. That's what I do. Every other day I do a shave. So I just don't like I don't like that prickly feeling. I actually like to do a shave every day. But my skin doesn't like it. So I go, 2 days in between. So I wet the head, kind of put some hot water in. I got some hot water drawn up. I'm going to show you guys a little trick. If I can think of something, little tricks that I've picked up along the way, I'll kind of throw them in this video. And if there's more to come, I'll try to throw it into them too. But one thing you can do, and this is not a scientifically proven method, or anything like that, but you can throw a little bit of aftershave on that's got alcohol in it, of course, to sanitize whatever platform you're gonna be shaving. Your face, your head. If it's if one of the ladies is watching, your legs. And that way, if you nick yourself, maybe any bacteria that might be there around it, will be killed. Maybe less of a chance of a little nick turning into an infection, or maybe it getting big and getting really red and swelled up, whatever the case is. I've seen a lot of guys do it. Like I said, I can't say that it's scientifically proven, but it does have alcohol in it. So, I think that sanitizes the platform, so to speak. So we've done that, and you kind of want to let your aftershave dry a little bit, which having alcohol, it just takes a second. Go back, re-wet the head. Just enough water on the head. The way I can use the pre-shave, and it glides really easy. And we'll just put just a little bit of pre-shave cube on there. I talked about this stuff right here, this particular stuff in the previous video, and I like to work it in, just kind of lathering it up a little bit, so to speak. Before I start, I feel like it works a little bit better. You might have to add a little water to it. If it starts feeling sticky like glue, just wet your hand and proceed. Okay, now we're ready for soap, guys. And again, everybody, if you're new, you'll find your own tricks, you'll find your own technique, you'll find what you do and don't like to use. This is not what I'm doing here is not a have-to guide. It's a how-to in case you don't know literally anything. Again, I've said this many times through this series, but I will say it many more. this is not for the seasoned wet shaver. If you're a friend of mine and you just like watching this, hey, I greatly appreciate it. This video is intended for guys that have not done this type of shaving before, guys that have never used a shave brush, guys that have never used a double-edged razor, a straight razor, you know, anything traditional. So, like I said again, if you're here and you already know what to do, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate it more than you know. But this video is not intended to teach you anything if you are an experienced wet shaver. Because, truth be told, I am not an experienced wet shaver. I just started a YouTube channel and thought maybe I could help somebody with this little series. And I know when I was doing the how to build a lather thing, I talked about scrubbing with the brush. And if you guys remember, I mentioned in that I don't scrub normally. I was just doing that, you know, for the purposes of showing you guys. So that's why you see me just painting it on. If you have sensitive skin, I would strongly recommend just painting the lather on. Don't scrub on that head. You know, don't scrub on your head. Scrub on your face. You know, be gentle. Either way you do it is totally fine, though. So, with that being said, we'll get a spray bottle. I use a continuous spray bottle for water. We might need to hydrate this because I'll be talking a little bit through the video. And we might not. So, in this video, what I'm going to do, this right here is the leaf razor. You've probably seen my review for it. You have probably seen me showcase it in this series before. And in that, I kind of talked about it is a hybrid between like a Mach 3. It's a hybrid in between something like this and something like this. It's right in the middle. So what we're going to do today is we're going to shave half my head with this, the other half with this. That way, you know, again, if one of the beginners wants one of them style of razors, they'll kind of know what to do, how to do it, you know, that and that. And then when we go to clean up, you know, like a second pass or maybe spots that are still a little bit prickly or something, we'll go ahead and use a cartridge. And the reason I'm doing that with a cartridge is because everybody knows how to use a cartridge razor. There's really nothing to them, you know. You can push down as hard as you want, you know, within reason. You can go as fast as you want. You know, it's kind of cut and dry. So I can't really teach you nothing about that, you know. But these right here, maybe I can offer something, and that's my goal. I apologize for the running water. I know there's a lot of people out there that really gets under their skin. Okay, so we'll do this half of the head with the leaf. And just for the record, I have two brand new Gillette 7 o'clock greens in this razor. I also have a Gillette 7 o'clock green in this one. So when you're starting out with a razor like this, this is a double-edged razor when it comes to if it'll bite you or not, because it will bite you. And when this razor bites, it bites. It don't just nick. It'll cut you. So be very mindful of that. So what you're doing, you know, you can start out with the grain. You can start out against the grain. Don't think you have to do it exactly like me. Also, don't think you have to start over here on the sideburns like I do. If you watch any of my shaving videos, you always see me start right here. That's just where I start. You will find the place that you like to start. And once you get in that habit, you'll go to that every time. And that's what I'm doing here. Okay? So, I'm going to start right there at the sideburns, being careful not to hit my beard. And now I don't want to just, and I'm guilty of that. I go fast, you know. So I'm going to try to slow down on this one. You're not putting hardly any pressure. You're letting the razor do all the work with something like this. This is a very, very sharp set of blades in here. I'm sure you can hear what they call the feedback from that razor. It's just the hair coming off there, the hair being cut. Now, this razor is not like your Defender or your Gillette Skin Guard. This will clog up. So rinse it often. I like to do, 3 or 4 little passes there, and then I like to go ahead and rinse it, whether it needs it or not. Also, if you're a new head shaver, always remember to get the back of your neck. Keep the back of the neck clean. And get around your ears. Nobody likes to see a nice shaved head that's got hair left here and hair left back here. Okay. So, again, for my shaving style, I kind of start out against the grain now. I used to go with the grain for one pass and then go against the grain on the second pass. I don't do that no more. I felt like it was causing unnecessary irritation, so I kind of quit doing that. And the way my hair grows funny in the back, so me shaving that direction right there is going against the grain. And I know I was going a little fast there. I'll try to slow it down. Alright, so now let's try to, I might have went a little too far there. Maybe not. That's about right. So we're going to go to right there. Let's see here. Right there. And again, guys, this is really, it's as easy as shaving with your cartridge razor. You just have to be careful with it, because like I said, it will bite you. See, I need to slow down there just for the purposes of the video, because if you haven't used this razor before and you take off doing that, you're going to cut yourself. So I need to quit that. Hear that hair popping off there? Guys, I'm also guilty of pushing down too hard. I am. I'm doing it right now. You can pretty much take one pass, especially with a new set of blades in this. I use blades 2 times. You can get, I know most people get 3 uses out of them before they switch them in something like this. And some people get many, many more than that. But I like to use them twice. I've got plenty, and they're cheap. So, see what I just did there? That's how easy that can get you. See it right there? So again, guys, be very mindful. Be very mindful of what you're doing. Now, was I using bad technique? I might have been. There's one other thing it could have been. There could have been a little blemish there. I get blemishes all over my skin, as you can see. You can see it all over my face and stuff. So it could have been that. It could have been just me nicking that. But it also could have been poor technique. Don't think for a second that my technique is perfect, because it is not. When you finish a shave and there's no blood, that is a good shave. So, as of right now, this is not a good shave. That's okay though, because we're learning today. So I'm going to use this alum block, which is basically a styptic. Kind of the same thing as a styptic pen. We're going to use this to stop that bleeding. As bad as this sounds, I'm actually glad that happened. That way I can have a chance to show you. Makes for a better video. We're just going to rub right there just a little bit. And we might not be able to get the bleeding to stop. I need to use an actual styptic pen. But I kind of use this in the place of it instead. I think it's going to stop. Alright, we'll go back to shaving the back here. The cowlick's always a funny spot to shave also. So right there I feel a little hair catching. Alright guys, that's going to kind of wrap it up with the leaf. Now, I tried to kind of speed up through that a little bit just for the simple fact of it's going to take me longer on this. I'm better with the leaf. I use the leaf more often. But real quick guys, if you have never used a double edge, we will go over it real quick. Alright, so there's your blade right there. I'm going to set that down without touching it. Here's your top cap. Okay, there's your base plate. That's your handle. Some razors are 4-piece, some are 3-piece. Right. Here's your blade. Never grab it by that long side. Only grab it right here on the ends like that, right? Now you're going to install that right there. Being very careful of how you grab that. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to take the base plate and the top cap without grabbing the sides, and we're going to slide them together right there. It's got 2 pins right here and right here to ensure that it goes together properly. And then you're going to start that. Okay, so you're started on there. You're just going to tighten that down. Let me loosen that back up. All right, so you're right there. Going to tighten that down, and you're going to tighten it all the way, and you're going to see that it's going to bend that blade a little bit. I don't know if you can tell by that right there, but it actually curves that blade a little bit, and that puts the angle on it, the cutting edge angle. Okay, so we've been talking long enough. I'm going to add a little water. My head was feeling a little dry. You'll notice I'm going with the grain right here. I always start out right there doing that. That way I can establish a line and I don't actually cut my beard. So, alright guys. Now, here's what you're going to notice. If you hold that razor like that, it's not going to cut anything. Alright, you have to find an angle with this. If you hold that razor like that, it's not going to cut anything. You have to find an angle with this. So what you basically got to do is you got to find the line between the base plate, the top cap, and the blade, right? And you want all 3 of them to impact your skin at the same time. You know, if I go too far this way, the top cap and the blade's not touching. If I go too far this way, the base plate wouldn't be touching on this one. The base plate and the blade is not touching if you're too far that way. The top cap and the blade's not touching if you're too far that way. So really about a 45-degree angle is very close. So start out at a 45-degree angle, and that's going to be close. Different razors are going to be different angles. Keep that in mind. Again, this is the King C Gillette. You can pick it up at Walgreens for like $25. And you can get it other places also. So, and one good thing about these, if the blade is not cutting anything, you will definitely know. It won't make no noise, you won't feel nothing, you know, it'll just feel like metal running across your skin. It'll be really smooth. There won't be no drag, won't be no tugging, so I don't know if you can see that angle or not. That's the right angle right there, okay? We're also, again, we're going to be mindful of how hard we push down. We're going to be mindful of how fast we go. Even though this video is getting long, I'll try to speed it up. We're going to be very careful right here. That's the danger zone right there in the back of the head, okay? We're letting the razor do the work. We're not pushing down. You see it moving in my hand? That's because I'm not gripping it very tight. Alright, now on these kinds of razors, let me show you something you can do. You can take a swipe. You can flip that sucker. You can take another one. That's why they call it a double edge. It's got an edge on both sides. And you don't have to rinse it after every swipe. I do just out of habit. But you don't have to do that. See, I had a little slip there. That's because I lost my angle and it just slid. It didn't hurt anything, but that's what happened. Probably hear that cutting. It builds up, so I can just spin that dude right over. See, and as you shave with it more, you can pick up speed. The first time I used this razor, I looked like somebody attacked me with a BB gun or something. Well, keep your razor clean. And again, guys, we're being mindful of how hard we push down. We're being mindful of our angle. We're paying good attention to kind of everything at once. That's what you need to do. Now, when you get to the back of the head, trust me, it's going to be a little challenging, right? Especially when you're brand new. So, what you'll end up having to do, now I won't have to do it here, but you'll end up having to reapply shaving cream or soap several times to ever get it shaved, right? And that's because you can't check the razor out in the mirror to get that angle, right? So, again, keep that in mind also. You know what, we're just about there. Add a little bit more shaving cream there. I know there was a little spot, I can hear it. Guys, there's probably hundreds of wet shaving channels out there on YouTube. And every one of them guys, in some of them videos, at some point, they use this kind of razor. You know, so check them guys out. If I can remember, I'll try to link a few of them in the description. You know, especially the ones that got how-tos, you know, and stuff like that. Little piece right there. Back here at the cowlick. A little bit of shave soap left there. Alright, I think that's going to do it now. Feel it, you know, I feel little prickly spots here and there, but that's all over. That's not a fault of this razor. It's not a fault of the leaf. It's just, that's just what happens. There's little bitty spots there left. So what we'll do is we'll re-wet the head just a little bit there. And we'll go straight back on with some soap. I'll do a little scrub for you guys. Maybe you didn't catch any of my first videos. Maybe you're kind of wondering. I guess I should have built the lather on camera too, in case somebody missed, you know, the first video or the second video in the series. This is episode 4 here. And as I mentioned before, we will use a cartridge razor on this one. Okay, let's get that off our ear. I don't want to look like an elf. Okay. Alright, this is the Gillette Skin Guard. At some point I will shoot a review for this and give you a little bit more detail about it, but it's a standard cartridge razor. They're all, you know, they're all based on the same thing. They're really good for getting around the sideburns and stuff. Your more traditional razors, if you got a beard, they're a little bit tougher. This has got safety bars on it. It's got a lube strip. You can kind of go to town with these. You know, you can rock and roll. So, you know, if you're somebody that's going to want to shave your head every other day like myself, but you don't have a lot of time, you know, if you're one of them people that are just constantly busy, you know, but you do want to wet shave, you can wet shave with a cartridge razor. You know, you can traditional shave. Get a bowl, get a brush, buy some shave soap, and, you know, check out my videos, and you can go right straight to town. You don't have to have a traditional razor. Now, if you're doing a full traditional shave, then, I mean, yeah, I guess technically you would have to, but, again, if you want a wet shave, you do not have to use the more dangerous razors, I guess is what I'm trying to say there. You know, and don't ever let anybody tell you that you're not shaving correctly. If you are shaving any part of your body and you are not cutting yourself, not filleting yourself, if you don't have mega irritation at the end of it, if you enjoy having just shaved, then guess what? You're doing it right. You know, there's a channel out there on YouTube, and at the end of every video, the guy said, "It's your shave, do it your way," and he's absolutely right. Nobody can tell you that your technique is wrong. Yes, at some point you will use bad technique. I used bad technique just a second ago and cut myself. See where I opened it back up by scrubbing on it with the brush? But that's okay. You know, learn. Learn what you did wrong. Figure out, you know, sit there and stop and retrace your tracks if you have to, you know, to figure out what you did wrong. You know, revisit and try not to make that mistake again. Also, guys, when you're building your lather, don't be afraid to waste a little soap. Don't be afraid to screw a lather up, and don't get discouraged on your first time when you screw up, because on your first time you're going to screw something up. Might be major, might be minor. It doesn't matter. You know, if you have a shave bowl, grab a shave bowl and practice. If you're just sitting around not doing anything. You know, if you don't have a shave bowl, ask your wife for a Tupperware bowl. Go in there and get a salsa bowl, you know, and practice building a lather. If you want to practice with your more traditional, like a straight razor or a double edge razor or a single edge, which I don't own one of them, grab a balloon, blow it up, put shaving cream on it, and practice shaving it without popping it. You know, that's actual shaving practice there. You know, and you'll find your own way. You know, there'll be other ways you find to practice, and you'll come back to this video and tell me about it, and then there I'll have learned something from you. You know, don't be afraid to reach out to the content creators in the shave world. Don't be afraid to reach out to me. If there's something at all I can help with, I will certainly do it. You know, but like I said, you know, technique is everything. You know, the last thing I want is somebody to cut themselves, but again, you know, your technique is your own, so don't let nobody tell you you're doing it wrong. You know, especially if if you're not brand new to it anymore. Once you put 50, 100 shaves under your belt, you know, don't let somebody say, "Well, I do it different. You know, your way's not right." No, that's wrong. That's not. You know, that's not right. They're the one that's wrong. You know, who is anybody to tell you that you're not shaving properly? Now, if you're taking big hunks out of your head like I just did, you know, allow somebody to give you friendly advice, you know, but don't let them criticize you and belittle you, you know, just because you cut yourself or just because you don't shave like they do. I have one problem area right there that I have to go down on. Right there. That's it, guys. I believe that's going to conclude the shave. You know, and kind of a little demonstration on a cartridge razor, you can literally go that fast without, I mean, I really didn't even feel that. So, you know, I wouldn't dare do that with this. So, you know, keep in mind, I mean, there's a big difference. There's a big difference in the technique that's required, you know, with them two razors. Even though they look very similar, there's a big difference in what's required. So, guys, this very well could be the last video in this series. I know it's sure long enough for a grand finale, isn't it? I'm already at 30 minutes, maybe even a little bit longer with a little intro. So, that being said, what we'll do is we'll go over, do a little head rinse there. You know what? I feel a spot that I missed back here, just on the back of the neck. Always remember, get the back of the neck. Don't leave that. Alright, we got that. So we're going to rinse the head free of soap. And we're going to dry the head. A lot of people say daub, don't ever rake. Something about you know, your pores getting kind of clogged when you do that, maybe pushing more soap down into it. I'm really not sure. I have a bad habit of wiping it, even though they say to just dab it, you know, daub it like that. Don't do that. Alright guys, we'll check our shave with Aftershave. So if you ever really want to know how well your shave went, how well your technique was, what you can do, you grab an Aftershave with alcohol in it. You can also grab an aftershave with spikenard in it, but I don't recommend that because that's pretty much hot anytime you shave and your pores are good and open. That's going to burn you. Alright, so I got a pretty healthy dose there. Put that on. Oh yeah. A little bit of burn right here, guys, just a little bit. And if any of you guys are some of my returning subscribers, you know when I put something on my head, if it's hot, I wince. I ain't afraid to. I don't like that burn. Some people really get off on that burn. I don't. So that was a good shave everywhere except for right there, and you see I've even got a little red spot there. So little recap, guys. Again, don't be afraid to mess up. You know. Take it slow, you know, go easy, don't push hard, you know, don't slice fast. Never put that razor on your head and go that way. Don't even accidentally do it. That right there will put what they call a memory line on you. And it's a memory line because you'll remember it every time you look at it. Even with this razor, I've done that once. My hand slipped and I pulled it sideways and it laid me open good. So never do that, you know. At all costs, avoid it. So, you know, guys, refer back to the first 3 videos. How to build a lather. Just kind of the first one was kind of just an overall brief welcome to wet shaving. You know, here's some equipment. You know, here's a few things to look for. Inexpensive stuff. You know, I went over inexpensive stuff. Basically stuff for the beginner, you know. Second video was how to build a lather. Third video, how to maintain and care for your shave brush. That one's a really simple one. There's nothing to it. You know, you're just going to wash and, you know, keep them clean. Try to keep them dry, stuff like that. This video, we actually put the razors to use. I even cut myself, you know, because I wasn't using the proper technique. So, find a technique that works for you, you know. Practice building lather, whether you puck lather or bowl lather, you know, both is fine. Whatever you like to do better, you know. Also, you know, when you're done with your shave brush, don't let it set. I've seen guys walk away from it and let it set for a while. I like to rinse my shave brush pretty much immediately. As a matter of fact, I've sat here and talked too long from what I normally like. I normally like to rinse it right then. You know, guys, and really the main thing is if, you know, you want to make this a hobby, don't let it be like a job. You know, just have a good time with it. You know, again, guys, don't be afraid to reach out. I'm always here to help anytime I can in any way I can. Also, there's other wet shavers with YouTube channels. Reach out to them. I have never reached out to one that wasn't willing to help. I've only reached out to, 5 or 6 guys, but every single time I've reached out to them, they've been more than willing to help me. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid to try new accessories, pre-shaves, post-shaves, different razors, different soaps, different brands of soap. If you like the animal product soap or the vegetile soap, find that. Buy one of each. If you're a vegan, then obviously you're not going to do that. But if you're not vegan, buy one of each. See which one you like better. A lot of people like the vegan soaps, even though they're not vegan. So just don't be afraid to try new techniques. Don't be afraid to try new equipment.